Morning, 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 morning. So today I will be writing a buttload of emails. A buttload of emails. That's a lot. Whenever I write a buttload of emails for a client, I'm always reminded of the fact that when I first started as a magician and tried to use email marketing, I'd heard all the stuff about email being 40 times more powerful than social media and stuff like that, and I thought, I want in on this. But knowing the stats and knowing that email marketing is a good thing to do, and actually doing it is a completely different thing. So I thought I'd give you a couple of tips today to make email marketing easier. So if you are the kind of person that's delaying it, faffing around, finds it a bit of a struggle to do, hopefully these couple of tips will help you out a little bit. I think the problem for me, I think we can just agree that whenever there are more steps, whenever you add a step between where you are now and where you need to be, or the end result, the more steps there are, the less likely it is to get done. So, if you ask somebody who enjoys working out, because we can kind of invent these steps. So if you ask somebody who works out, who enjoys working out, what the steps are between them getting off the couch and working out in the gym, they would probably say, I get off the couch, grab my bag, get in the car, go to the gym, start working out. 5 simple steps, right? You ask somebody like me, who doesn't enjoy working out, what the steps are between getting off the couch and going to the gym. I invent a few more. So I have to get off the couch, I have to find my bag, I have to find a towel, I have to find a water bottle that the kids haven't nicked for their school bags, I have to clean the water bottle out, put fresh water in it, I have to find some trainers, I have to find a good time of the day when it's okay for family for me to go to the gym, to make sure the car's got petrol in it and the car's clean so I can put my stuff in it. I'm not even out the door and I'm already up to step 87. It's like a Himalayan task. So we invent steps and it causes a problem. And email marketing is one of those things that by now I do it, it's very simple. It's like get into the account, write the email, send it out, job done. It's not a big mental block for me. But I know for a lot of business owners, it is. I've got to remember my login, I've got to pick the right list, I've got to choose a template, I've got to move boxes around, I've got to copy paste information in, I've got to send a test email. And again, it's like me trying to get in a workout. It's just not going to happen. There's too many steps. So today, I'm going to give you a couple of steps that will help eliminate hurdles and barriers in your way, just to make it a little bit easier. And both of them are about the subject line, because the subject line is a big block for a lot of people. It's the first thing you're often asked to do when you sign into your mail account. What title do you want to give this email? What is the thing that's going to get them to open this email? What short, pithy, funny phrase are you going to use? And that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody right off the bat before they've written the damn email. It's like asking somebody to come up with a headline for their sales page before they've written anything and then not changing it later. It's a big barrier. And now suddenly you've got 2 things to write, a subject line and an email. So the first tip is this. There's no rule that says you have to write the subject line first. So skip it. Write it second. Put some placeholder text in there like, don't forget to put subject line here, dummy. Don't worry about sending it with stuff like that, because if you send it with that, then that becomes a topic for an email you can use later on. But yeah, just put a placeholder text in there and just get straight into the email. There's a couple of advantages to this. One, it just gets you out of the mental block of thinking, you don't get stuck at the subject line phase. You just completely eliminate that roadblock. But second is, when you start writing your email, you'll often come up with a subject line, probably at least half the time. More, the more you do it. When you get into the swing of emailing more often, you kind of get the feel for subject lines. So the more you do it, the better you'll get. But you'll find that by the time you type the last word of your email, by the time you sign off or do that PS, by the time you get there, you've already got a good idea of what the subject line should be. So you've got the subject line without any extra work. Writing the email brought you the subject line. So very often you'll find that happens. So let's say it's like half the time. So what do you do for the other half of the time? And here's a simple trick you can do. Once you've written the email, just go back through it. Have a look. Just try and pick out any keywords, phrases, quotes, anything that you think is quite interesting. Don't worry about context. Don't worry about whether it makes sense. Just think any collection of words on this page. It's like a word search. Just go back through it and just look for a collection of words or phrases that you think, if I just took that out, copied it and put it in my subject line, would that work? Would they open that email? That's all you need to do. And there's another advantage of this. Excuse me. Not only does it make writing the subject line easier and remove the hurdle, remove that step entirely, it also guarantees that you'll never write a clickbaity headline again. Because if you think about it, the clickbaity thing comes from the email not delivering on the promise, the headline not delivering on the article not delivering on the headline. You don't want your readers to feel scammed whenever they click your email. And if you're using text from within the email, it can never be a scam because the text is there. You're not making anything up. You're not taking it and twisting it. You're not exaggerating it. You're looking for an exact combination of words that appears in your email and using it as your subject line. So they'll never be scammed. Don't worry about things like context. If you've got let's say you've got an email and you're talking about a trip to your proctologist. Don't ask. Let's say you're talking about a trip to your proctologist, and during the initial consultation, he said he was looking up the light and there was something in there, and he went, "Oh God, how did that get up there?" You could take that out and say the proctologist said, "How the hell did that get up there?" and put that as a subject line. Of course, they'll think it's one thing, but it's actually another. But that's not clickbaity because those are the words he actually said or she actually said. So let's eliminate the worry of trying to craft a perfect subject line before we begin. So tip number one is forget about the subject line straight away. Just put something in there, dive into the email. What you'll find is the subject line will more often than not, I'm guessing, come to you. And it will get even easier the more emails you crank out. So that's step number one. Forget about the subject line until you've done your email. If nothing has struck you, if the muse hasn't blessed you with inspiration while you've been writing the email and you get to the sign off and you've still got nothing, just go back through your email and look for a collection of words or phrases, something interesting. Maybe you called somebody something, maybe there's a quote, maybe you've used an analogy, maybe you've used something, just a collection of words that you think are inherently interesting to your audience. Copy them, put them as a subject line, and use that. That's how you get through the, oh my God, what the hell do I put as a subject line problem? So I hope you found that useful. Of course, there are a whole bunch more videos and podcasts like this. If you want to check them out in video form, you can go to insertgaghere.com/video. If you'd prefer it as a podcast, go to insertgaghere.com/podcast. If you prefer it as neither, but you just want a whole sackload of goodies for free, go to insertgaghere.com/neither, and you can just help yourself. So I hope you found that useful. Have an awesome day.